Okay, so I'm going to do a little Photoshop demonstration here to show what I've learned for my major project, which I decided I was going to learn Adobe Photoshop. So since the project has kind of been all related to this imaginary party planning slash cupcake business that I would like to have someday, I just had Lucy's second birthday party this weekend, and she was thing too since it was a storybook themed party. And so what I'm going to do is probably for her thank you notes, I'm going to try to cartoonify. That's not really a word, but I'm going to make her into more of a cartoon and take this thing too out and try to put her into the book. So what I'm going to do is go back to her adorable little picture here, and first things first, you should always kind of make a copy of your original picture and leave it in the back. You can kind of minimize it there. That way it's always there if you need to kind of pull something back out of it. Learn that through experience, through all this experimentation here. And secondly, because I'm trying to isolate her from her background here, I'm going to put in another layer, which you're going to hit this little square button with the folded up corner there and move that new layer behind her. But you need to make sure you're selected on the layer that you're actually going to be cutting. So then to cut her out of the background, you're going to go over to this side here with the lassos. There are different lassos. The regular one is just sort of a bubble tool. You can vaguely draw around something, just like that, and it'll connect. But I need to be a little more precise than that. If you ever need to make a step backwards, if you hit Control D, it'll take it away. The polygonal one is straight lines, and magnetic lasso it snaps to the edges of things, which is what we want to do. So we're going to use the magnetic lasso, and I'm going to start right here at her hand, and I'm just going to kind of slowly, go around. And I'm not going to worry about sort of getting the little wisps of her curls in here, because when she's kind of made into more of a blocky cartoon, it doesn't translate well. So we're just going to kind of make some swirlies around her hair there. Keep going down her little face. And like right there, I missed a little bit and I got a piece of grass. That's okay. We're just going to, we'll erase it here in a little bit. And the same deal here, why I'm ignoring these sort of extra little wisps of her tutu, they don't translate well when trying to modify her later. Okay, down here where her shoes, there's some grass blocking them. I'm going to kind of leave myself a wide berth around them so that I can fix it once I can, put the black back in so that they are solid shoes here eventually. So we're just going to kind of almost there. Looks like somebody's texting me, but we're going to ignore that. Get our cute little tutu here. And we're back where we started. Okay, so you'll see that she is outlined here. And if you hit Control-Shift-I, that selects sort of the inverse of her. Since we're not trying to get rid of her, we're trying to get rid of the background. So it is all highlighted. I'm going to go up to Layer here and down to, where is it? The Layer Mask. And you want to hide selection. So voila, now she's on a transparent background. So now you can see here there's a little bit of cleaning up we need to do, and this is where you can zoom in and fix it. If you hit Control and then the plus sign, that'll zoom in, and Control minus takes you back out. So I'm going to take the eraser here and the brackets buttons. If you press those, it'll, you can make it bigger and smaller, but I'm going to stay pretty small here. And I'm just going to Control Z will undo things that you mess up. See how the grass is kind of blocking her shoe, and so it's not a solid line there on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my paintbrush, and I'm going to hit Alt so that I get the little eyedropper. I'm going to select sort of the black of her shoe, and I'm going to not paint, because I forgot that you can't really paint over this layer mask here. So if you hit Control Shift E. That now makes it an official layer, and see, now I can play around with it. So we're gonna do that again. So click on this square, pick her color, and now we're at the paintbrush. So I'm just gonna kind of go in here, and it's okay that it's making it kind of blocky because, like I said, she's gonna be a blocky little cartoon, so it's not a bad thing if it's all one solid color. Okay, let's go over and do this shoe. We're gonna do the same thing just in case it's kind of a little bit of a different of a black. Go around her foot. Give a little more heel there. And go over the strap. And then these little wisps of grass here, I'm going to select the white-ish gray, make it smaller. Get rid of those. Do the red. Same thing. Okay, so you get the idea there. So then we're going to go back up to the eraser here and continue giving her feet a little more form. Her tights were a little big on here, thus the sort of wrinkled ankles, but gotta work with what you have, I guess. So we're gonna kind of give her a little more definition so that, you know, they look like ankles. And it's too much. Go around. You get the idea. So let's, whoa, little overzealous there. Okay. See how rounded that one is? I think I'm gonna round off this shoe a little bit more too. And there we go. Okay. So let's control minus sign gives us a little more. Get back up there. Okay, so now we have her sort of isolated from her background. And what I'm going to do is go back to my little page here, and I'm going to pull in this thing too. Just use the selection tool in the corner there. Select him. I'm going to hit Control C, copies him. Go back to Lucy, Control V. And then if you do Control T, that sort of selects his the picture there. And I'm just gonna hit the lock button so that his proportions stay, and I'm gonna make him smaller so that he doesn't block, you know, her beautiful face here. So, okay, now I've got my color references. Hit the chin. Next up, we're gonna mess with her hair here. So we're gonna sort of select around it. All the way around. Take this moment to brag about what a smashing success my lovely party was. I will have to include some more cupcake stuff on my other posts, but you know, just to let you know. All right, so her hair is selected here. I'm going to go back up to the layer, and I'm going to hit a new adjustment layer, and I want to mess with the hue and saturation. So you're going to hit OK. We're going to, can I not select him? Apparently not. Okay, well, we'll just kind of use him as a reference. I think it's a little more, there's a little more green in it than that. Okay, that looks about right there. And we could, you know, you could play with the saturation if you wanted it super neon, but you don't. I'm trying to maintain a little bit of the human details to her because I don't want her to look too freaky here at the end. And then down here, if you want to see what it looked like before you did anything, you just click this little eyeball with the back arrow. Okay, but no, her hair looks good there, so we're going to just keep it, put that back in, and I'm going to hit Control Shift E to kind of flatten that layer back together there. I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to erase the little parts of her hair that either didn't get colorized or don't really fit with the sort of shape that I want. Kind of round that off, give her a little more definition there. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, next I'm going to do her face. So we're going to select all this skin here. Now when I first did this, when I was sort of practicing this little show that I'm putting on for you, I tried to more like fill in the colors to make it solid white, sort of like the character does. However, it looked so scary, I decided not to do that. So, why am I doing her hair? Sorry, Control D. I guess I was back in the past there. Okay. So instead, we're going to go around her face. So as you can obviously see, I'm not super fluid in Photoshop yet. It is definitely a process, but I'm enjoying learning stuff, so that's good. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go up to layer, I'm going to do an adjustment layer, I'm going to do hue and saturation. Okay, we're going to colorize her, and we're going to kind of turn it up, and can I not? Okay, so I'm not colorizing her, I'm just going to kind of turn up the lightness there. Okay, so you see that, we made her a little bit whiter, but not fully kind of scary white, but, enough to get the point across. Okay. And then once again, I'm going to do those. Okay, and then there are little bits that I missed here. So what I'm going to do is hit this clone stamp, make it smaller with the brackets. If you hit Alt and select something, it will, take that piece there, and I'm just gonna use it to Alt again. Fill in sort of the pieces that aren't colorized. We're going to end up outlining her in black, so there's that for later. Give her a little cheek, oops. Okay, so she's kind of scary and white, but that's okay. Let's go down and do the exact same thing to her hands. Alright, so she's getting there. So I'm going to make this thing too not visible. I'm going to render down with Control-Alt-E to make those all together there. Okay, so let's posterize her first. That way, as we mess with her, we don't have to try to get all the same shading and everything. So I'm on her layer. I'm going to go up to layer thing again, and I'm going to posterize. You say okay. All right, so see how that sort of flattens her out? We're gonna find a little happy medium here. Alright, so 3 is a little too scary. Let's try 5. I can retain some of her facial features and get back in there to change them later. So I like that one. We're going to do enter there. Okay, so see now it's more solid colors there. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here. And I'm going to take her leg, and since it's got the clear background, I don't really have to be as precise. You don't need to go back to her layer. And I'm going to select from about here. Oops. Try it again. Here. And we're going to hit Control C and then Control V. and Control T so we can manipulate it, and then we wait till our arrows are bendy like that, and we're going to put her leg, we're going to put her leg more like she is running. Okay, we're going to be hiding it a little with the tutu there. Okay, so that looks good there. And then I'm going to go back here and maybe do a little bit with her other leg. Control C, Control V. Oops. Now I kind of have a little bit of a spider baby thing going on here. That's okay. Alright, so we're going to zoom back in and then go back to her original layer. And we're going to erase her legs. Make this a little bigger. I'm going to get rid of these original ones. I'm going to try to make the tutu kind of a solid edge there. And see how, I could erase all over these things, nothing happens because they're on different layers. Okay, so let's see how we have this little extra over there. If we find that layer, I can erase that. And I kind of want to make her leg a little even there. Maybe give her a little bit of an ankle. That looks better. Okay. And her legs look like they're a little too close to each other there. It looks a little unnatural. Not like, the entire thing doesn't look natural, but I think it would be further out here. That looks good. Okay. So, I'm going to also erase this little bit of tutu there. Okay. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is hide the thing too. Got her there. I still don't like the way that this leg looks. Maybe. We'll do it there, that's fine. Okay. I'm going to move it down below the original one there. And then that way, see how the tutu from the original now kind of blocks it and it looks like it's actually coming out from under her skirt. Okay, I think that looks a little closer. The good thing about Dr. Seuss is that it's all kind of a little wonky, so if she looks a little off, it's okay. It'll look all the more natural with the considering the settings there. So I'm going to render those down again. All right, now let's mess with her arms a little. I'm going to go back, put thing 2 up. See how his arms are kind of, I can't make them this far out because I don't have enough of this arm showing. It looks really weird when I try to mess with it there. But I am going to at least make it kind of moved up here like she's running. So we're going to select, going to go, not like that, going to go along the edge. Okay, copy and paste. Transform. We're going to, so for her elbows right there, we're going to leave it about right here. I think that's probably good. Maybe this will make sense here in a second. But okay, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to zoom in and pull it back over here. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is use my lasso tool again. I'm going to kind of copy a section, copy and paste it. I can kind of pull it down and use the Control T again, sort of pull that in there, and then erase it. Okay, see what I'm doing here? All right. So what I'm going to do now is take that lasso. I'm going to select this edge because I'm just going to kind of use it to make the other side of this arm. I need to go back to that layer, so I make sure I'm selecting that. Control copy, Control V, pull it off to the side. I'm going to hit T so I can spin it. I'm going to make it, tapered at the wrist like that. Little, there we go. Okay. Those two together. Okay, and then going to, we'll just paint it. We don't need to do the whole. I'm gonna select this color with Alt. Okay, see, it's getting there. Oops. I'm gonna get rid of this blue a little bit there. Okay, maybe put a little of this kind of maroon undertone on the bottom. Okay, all right, next thing, I'm going to erase a little bit of this. Now we're going to kind of make her hand look like it's a fist, because you more run, if you're running really fast, you run with your hands more in a fist. So what I'm going to do is select just the front part of her hand. Control C, Control V, make a new copy, if you're getting the hang of this yet. And that looks good. I'm going to go back to the original here, erase it. So I don't know, hopefully that looks a little bit more like a fist. You always want to kind of zoom out because nobody's going to be looking at it that close. Okay, so we're getting there. She's got extra arms now, but that's okay. We're going to fix it. So we're going to go down to this here. We're going to erase. Oops. Should we stay along her little belly there? Okay, and then kind of look at that. You never know that arm was there. Okay, and her arm, when I look at it compared to her other arm, is still pretty thin. So we're going to paint a little more. It's all about backing up, checking your work, coming back in. It's kind of like painting in real life too. You gotta do that when you paint. Okay. All right. So she's getting there. Ta-da. And now we're gonna render all those down together, pull our little Dr. Seuss guy back up, and see if I can get her other arm. I really don't like the way this fist turned out, so we're gonna try something here. I'm just curious. Oh, a little too much. Okay, I like that better. Okay, so let's see if I can do this on the arm. I'm just curious. I didn't really do this in my practice, but now I kind of want to, so we're gonna see if I can do it. So I'm gonna do more like the magnetic on here because it actually does matter. So if her elbow is right here, I'm going to just take around. Copy, paste, T, oops. Okay, so I'm not going to make it totally off to the side like Dr. Seuss's little guy because then she looks disjointed and kind of scary, but I'm at least going to make it going off to the side a little bit more than it was, so that should be good. Okay, now we're going to try to make this more of a smooth transition. I'm going to pull in some of these other colors. So, let's see. So I'm going to go back to my lasso. I'm going to select kind of a section of her tutu. Gotta go back to that layer, copy, paste, drag this over. We're going to kind of manipulate it so that it doesn't look like it's an exact replica of, you know, that same spot. Come on, make a little turny face. Stretch it. See how it kind of looks like it almost belongs there. Do that. Let's take another one. Well, first we're going to kind of erase this little grayish part because I don't like that. Doesn't really follow into everything else. Okay, then these are lighter colors up here, so we're going to go back down to her layer, select some of those, copy and paste them, bring that up, twist it around. Okay, so we're going to solidify those down. Then I need another blank layer behind her because I'm going to erase. Where's my eraser? There it is. Okay, I'm going to kind of give her a little back. Get rid of all the red. Okay. I don't like that. Where is this layer? Oh well, it'll stay over. What you do? Okay, so she's getting there. Still a little funky looking, but this is a work in progress. I feel like her elbow needs to be sticking up rather than down. So let's see if we can do this. Let's render all those layers together again. So I'm going to select kind of this area, copy, paste it. You see I use copy, paste a lot. Turn it around. Maybe warp it a little. Just kind of drag things down until they meet. Bend that in because I'm going to be erasing that other bit of her. Go down here, erase. Get rid of this little extra doodad. Here we go. Okay, and then let's just get rid of this extra little doohickey there. Alt. And I feel like she needs a little more space and definition here. Okay. See, he's getting there. Okay. So now let's give her, and look, let's just to focus back on the progress that we've made. Hang on, let's render those down. Let's look back at the original image. Ta-da! And we're gonna put, look how good at this we are. Okay, so let's give her a face back because it's kind of freaking, oh, actually, you know what, let's do the outlines first just so that her face outlines are about the same. Let me see if I can remember where this is. I'm gonna do layer, layer style, stroke. And see, this is just gonna kind of go around the edges. It doesn't go around on the inside stuff, but that's okay. You know what, I wanna get this one up so I can see. Okay, so that's his outlines. So they're pretty bold compared to him. So let's try that again. Layer, style, stroke. Move this off to the side so I can see what I'm doing. We're gonna make them a little bit bigger. Maybe that's too big. Let's do 3. I like that. Okay. Okay. So then I'm gonna get back to my paintbrush. Select that color of black, which is not gray. It is black. There we go. And I'm gonna kind of outline the hair there. Okay, let's give her a little bit of a chin. Okay, and we're gonna give her some eyes. And I don't know if I like those eyes. We're gonna Z. Step backward, step backward. Okay. Let's try maybe here. We'll give her some eyebrows. Those are angry eyebrows. See, enough angry eyebrows for a toddler. I don't need more. Yeah, that works. Okay. Let's give her. Let's try where her eyes are closed. Like the things go a little smaller. Give her some eyelashes. A little too long there. Okay. A little bigger again. Let's get her nose in there. And oops. She had a big smile. Okay. And we're going to outline where her tutu goes. And where her shirt ends. Nope. Nope. Zoom in a little bit so you can see what you're working with. Fix that. There. Let's differentiate. Does the thing have fingers or no? I don't remember. Well, they're kind of covered. We're going to leave her hands how they are though, because I don't want to make them red like the other things. Okay. We're getting there then. You know what? Let's get the side of her face here because it kind of looks funny with the ear. Uh-oh, I don't know why it kind of... get these red things here, but let's do a paint over them because they're weird and unnecessary. Okay, let's go back to our black. Get our arm all the way up there. Get her collar. You know what? We're gonna give her a little more arm here too. So let's pull this red. I don't know why it's wanting to do. There we go. Okay, I was kind of still continuing to put the stroke around it. That's why I put a new layer in. So sorry there. Had to zone out and fix that. There's always a fix. So let's get in there. Maybe bring in a little more of this maroon just to kind of differentiate between her chest and that. And let's go back to our black outlines. A little smaller. Give her an elbow. Give her definition there. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Let's see how she looks in the book. So I'm going to render down those visible layers there, except that's not what I wanted to do. We're going to... There we go. Didn't want to render Dr. Seuss one in there. Okay, so now we got that arrows. We're going to drag this all the way to the top, over there, put her in here. Kind of move her off to the side. Alright, so now we need to get rid of this thing too, because I have a better thing too. And I'm going to use my paintbrush and select this sort of white color. And I'm going to keep kind of doing that because although this looks white, just straight up white, it's got a few different sort of grades of white and gray and everything, just because like you can see the picture from behind it. See how that white just looks shockingly white compared to that one? So we're gonna pull in more gray, pull in some of this white, make this a little bigger. You know what? Just because that looks a little funny to me, we're going to blur it a little. Over here you've got your blurs and smudging and stuff. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to kind of wiggle, and we're going to increase the strength a little. Wiggle it around on those edges so that they don't look quite so stark. That makes sense. Let's try smudging it because it's not working the way that I want it to. There we go. Yeah. See, now it looks like that's how it's supposed to be. Oh, not that much. Okay. Use the patch tool here to get rid of that little one. Okay, go away. Maybe not. Alright, fine. Let's do paintbrush. Alt. There. Okay. So, let's put Lucy, drag her down. Well, that's not good. I didn't realize I was painting on her layer. So what we're going to do is keep that back on there. I'm going to select her separately here and get her hand in there. Let's try that again. Okay, I'm going to hit Control Alt I, so it's the inverse. So I'm going to basically be selecting all that white stuff there. I'm going to copy and paste it. Nope, let's not do it that way. I'm going to copy and paste Lucy. Nope. Copy and paste her. So now she's on her own kind of layer, and I'm going to erase her off of this side. There, okay. So now these are two separate layers. So you know what, I'm going to get rid of her. I'm going to render that white back down there with that Control-Shift-E. Okay, so let's drag her back down here. We're going to make her about the same size. You want to always lock your aspect ratio, I think is what it's called up there. I'm going to try to make her kind of the same angle as this little guy. And she's getting there. Okay, so now that I've got her in here, I'm going to zoom in. It looks like there's a couple things that kind of need to be fixed on her. For one, her tutu outline doesn't connect all the way, so we're going to do that. Make a little bit of black. Whoa, we need way smaller. That's still too big. One more. There we go. Okay, and let's see, I'm gonna just kind of try something. I don't know, maybe some just sort of Susian zigzaggies on there. There we go. And I still don't like the way that her hand is on here. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Missed one. Let's fix that. Okay. I still don't like the way that her hand is on there. So you know what? I am going to do this red thing. There's always a way to fix things. So we're going to take the paintbrush, get this color back. You know what? No, I'm going to use, instead, I think I might use the clone stamp there, just because that brings in sort of the whole pattern part of it. See how it's bringing in some of the other stuff. So we're going to do that and just keep kind of re-clicking to reference it. And let's go back up here. She looks more like an amputee right now, so let's give her, let's see, you would see a little bit of a thumb. So let's give her, this needs an out, oops. There we go, okay. This needs, nope, too big. Sorry guys, wish I was better at this. A little bit of a thumb, and we're going to make her hand stick out a little bit more. It looks kind of like she's wearing mittens, but that's okay. And let's get that color back. Fill it in. Okay, maybe put some of this brighter red in up along the top. And just to differentiate that she does have a little thumb there. Okay, and then down here we're going to also give her a thumb. Black back. And let's see how that looks. I think I kind of like that better. What I don't like is this pink stuff. When I compare it to the other thing, that pink is really distracting. So what I'm going to do is cover that up. It's okay, this is sort of flattening her out. I mean, that thing is only really one color of red. I left a little more dimension in her. I mean, she doesn't match exactly, but that's okay. I'm gonna try to give her a wrist here because she lost it. There we go. Give her back her outlines. Small. And I like the way that his eyes curl up more, so I think I might try giving her a little more definition there. Okay. I don't know, what do you think? Let's take a little more, see how he's got sort of those little scuffy black marks in there. Let's see if we give her some of those. Okay. I also think she's got kind of a weird chin there, so we're gonna eraser. Whoa, my eraser is enormous. Let's go back down a little. There we go. It looks a little better, a little smoother. I also feel like her mouth is a little lopsided, so we're going to select, nope, oh, I forgot I'm on the eraser side. Paintbrush, Alt, select this color, kind of trim it in a little bit. I like it. Okay, so her colors still aren't totally there, so I'm just going to try something real quick. Let's see, if I do an adjustment layer. Please excuse my dog, he is unnecessarily noisy. Oops. No, I don't want to do the whole thing. Never mind. Okay, so I just want to isolate her here. So I'm going to try this little, whatever it's called, quick selection tool. See, that narrowed her down there. So then I'm going to try doing an adjustment layer. We're going to work with the hue and saturation. And I feel like this guy might have a little less saturated. I'm not sure exactly what the no, that's not it. Okay, let's just select it again. Okay, so we're gonna try that again. We're gonna do layer, adjustment layer. Let's do maybe color balance. Add a little more sort of yellow to her. See how that red is more like I think that's more like it. And then I'm actually going to, oops, on this layer. If I deaden her opacity a little bit, she's kind of more along the lines of that thing too there. That looks pretty cool, I would say, especially for my first attempt at such a thing. So I'm going to Control-Alt-E, render those all down. Now, Lucy is a cartoon, her mommy is awesome, and I've got a thank you note for all of her relatives and friends and everything.